in the kitchen with Vita and the family eats today, and I'm going to show you how to make a really nice picnic-y kind of condiment that you can keep in the fridge for up to 10 days to 2 weeks easily, and it takes only minutes to produce. We're going to be doing pickled red onions. This is the end result of what they end up looking like when they're done. Very pink and very delicious. I use these on everything from Vienna Schnitzel to a burger. You can put them on pulled pork sandwiches. I like them in place of coleslaw on top of a fish fry. Many, many uses. But a pickled red onion is something, once you've tried, you're going to want to try and try again. So let's get started. You're going to need a nice, clean, sterilized glass jar with a lid. We're not processing this, so it doesn't have to be a canning jar. We're going to use mixed pickling spice. That's not a necessity. I like to use just a little bit of extra spice in here. And these have mustard seeds in them and cloves and a little bit of garlic, a little bit of seasoning salt in here. Not necessary though, by any means. All you absolutely need, obviously, is the star, the red onion, white distilled vinegar, not apple cider vinegar, it's not necessary, and 2/3 of a cup, half a cup, depending on the size of your jar. For this size jar, I'm using a half a cup of sugar. So it's sugar, vinegar, and onion. Unless, like I say, you want to add a little bit of extra pickling spices in there or mustard seeds. That's fine for a little extra flavor. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start with peeling your red onion down. And a very good piece of information, great tip from my mom. I learned just about everything I do from her or my grandmom, mostly my mom. Going to peel all this down. The paper skin you're going to want to get off. Once you have the paper skin off, her trick was, and others have done this as well, this isn't, something she created by any means, is you're going to run this onion under very cold water, or you can set it in the refrigerator without the paper skin on it for approximately, I'd say 30 minutes. And that will prevent you from crying, losing your makeup, not being able to breathe if you got a really good strong one. So that's my trick. The very next tool you're going to need is either a very good chef's knife and some good knife skills, or the trusty mandolin. I have probably 2 or 3 of these kits. They come with various size blades, and it is a great even slicer for any vegetables. The key is, if you lose this piece to your mandolin, you might as well go buy a new one or find something that will replace this exactly. Because safety first. When I say this blade will take layers of your finger or fingernails off, it definitely will. So you want to go with safety first, of course. So what you do is you just are going to grind this in, and it's a stabilizer and a hand protector. And then the other protection is, I've told you in the past, wet a paper towel and put it down on your surface, and then set your cutting board there, and the wet paper towel keeps your board from sliding. One more safety feature is all it is. So I'm right-handed, so you're going to want to put your guard in your right hand, set it on here, and just begin slicing. And slicing and slicing. And it's going to give you even widths for your onion. As it gets full, Going to want to fill your jar. Now here's a tip. You definitely want to put the onion in the jar before the vinegar. And that's just physics. You pour the vinegar in here first and then try to put the onion in here, it's going to go all over the place. Work smarter. Put your onion in first. You'll be able to see as it rises when to stop with your vinegar. Okay? So we're far enough away here. As we get closer though, I'm going to put that guard right back on. And you want your onions good and thin. You don't want really thick, heavy onions. Nobody wants to get a giant, onion bite in their burger or what have you. They're pretty thin slices. It's going to give you a lot if you do it this way. You can reset your blade to a little thicker or thinner, depending on where you have it set. If you feel like it's not cutting the way you want your slices to be for your burgers or your pulled pork sandwich, roast beef. You put a bowl of these out at your barbecue or next picnic, and I guarantee you're going to be asked repeatedly for the recipe. And this one onion will give you a full jar. No problem there at all. Okay, we're getting kind of low, so I'm going to put my guard back on, push down, let those teeth really get in there. Good. Back and forth. And as I said, you can use a good chef's knife, but you're going to get all different lengths of slices. And why would you do that when you can get all of this done for you the same thickness all the way through? Great time saver. As long as you're patient, as I said, to operate with safety first. So, for a regular sized jar, and this is a pickled beets jar that I keep all my jars and wash them out because you never know. Go in the dishwasher. They're great to have if you got a little extra space to store, say in your cellar or your pantry. Please do, because you don't want to have to use canning jars every time you do something like this. You want your canning jars for your canning. Away the stem now. You don't need that stabilizing stem any longer. So like I say, one good size, you saw I had a medium to large onion that I used. And that pretty much filled that jar, leaving enough neck space, head space, for the vinegar and the sugar. These last little pieces come too thick for you, you don't have to use them. I'm big on not wasting, so I throw them in there. Okay, so that's slicing up all of the onion. We'll take this out of your way. Clear your area. Now you see, I have no tears. I have no sniffles from working with an onion because I soaked it in ice cold water first. And as I said, you can put it in the refrigerator as well if you prefer. It's the cold that stops, that triggers that terrible feeling in your eyes. So now you want to use this sparingly. It smells beautiful. It's got cloves in here and peppercorns and just makes those onions pop with flavor. I would say about a teaspoon for this size jar, unless you really like that pickling spice taste further. I'm using a half a cup for this size jar of sugar. And you start filling your white vinegar. Let the bubbling all stop. making headspace room. And you want to go just to the neck so that you do have turning abilities, you see? You turn this. Now these have been in the fridge. I haven't even tried these yet on this jar. I do tons of jars of these for every occasion, every picnic. And when they start getting really low, I do want to keep it in the fridge because you just don't never know. So I probably would say that's been in the fridge for a good week and a half. Hasn't been touched. It's got some of the pickling spices in there. Onions are very delicate. And this is the change off. You will see this beautiful pink color is what it'll end up looking like for you. And that's the vinegar and the sugar activating that beautiful purple skin. I'm going to move all of these around, get all of those spices circulating, of course. You have a nice flat surface on top. I take the rest of that sugar up. And as you make the room, you see, now you have a little bit more room. Just a little bit more vinegar. There we go. Wipe the top down. You want to make sure that the ring of the neck is wiped down quite well. You don't want any of the seeds from the pickling spices if you used them. Or you could just put some peppercorns in there, or just some mustard seeds, or nothing at all, as I said, and keep it strictly to sugar and vinegar. But you do want that ring perfectly clean before you attach your lid. Good and tight. Give it a couple really good shakes, few turns. And I thoroughly believe that it does make a very big difference to leave this on the counter, I would say a good hour, just to let it marry before you put it into the refrigerator. But once you put it in the refrigerator, each time you go in, not every single time, but when you go in and you think about it and you happen to see it, just grab the jar, give it a little flip, and back down. Keeps everything circulated, all the spices and everything fermenting properly. So you will start off with this, and this will be your end result. And those are pickled onions. That easy. They make a wonderful gift, too, if you want to put together a gift basket that you know people are going to use. You don't have to shop for those hard people to buy for. You can do a jar of pickled onions and maybe a jar of your homemade sweet hot mustard. We'll be doing that in a few days as well, and I'll show you that recipe. That's a beauty. And you can do maybe a bread, make a bread for someone, and some plates. Or you can put a whole meal together for someone and welcome them. Pickled onions and, you know, package of burger or package of Italian sausage, what have you, and put it all together before you bring it over to a housewarming gift. This jar was promised to my brother-in-law, and I keep all my promises, especially when it comes to food. So he'll be getting this in a couple days. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll give it a try. You've been in the kitchen with Vita, and the family eats. Don't forget to wait till the end of the video to take a look at the email address to request a written grocery list and recipe for this. If you like what you see, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the like, and definitely subscribe. I'm looking for as many subscribers as I possibly can get. Comments, I'm more than happy to read your comments and any suggestions. You take care. Until next time, you've been in the kitchen with Vita and the family eats.